So for those of you that watch this channel, you know that I'm a fan of kind of sturdy bikes with suspension, wide tires, just beefy bikes. I'd say this bike is Gazelle's answer to that. It's the Gazelle Eclipse, brand new bike for them, 2024. This particular one is the Gazelle Eclipse 380 Plus in the standard frame, and then they have the step-through frame with the derailleur, the Eclipse T11 Plus. A couple years ago, we had the privilege of meeting with Gazelle's design team. We were kind of talking about this bike, a bike with wider tires that could kind of handle all sorts of different terrain, really equipped for rougher streets of a place like New York, which we're in now. And what I found through my shop Propel is that a lot of times people want to buy one bike to do a lot of different things. And electric bikes, it's a big investment. So the idea that you can get a bike that you can use for commuting during the week and take it on some trails in the weekends or after work, it's really kind of cool. And I think this bike is really well suited for that type of riding. So as I mentioned, it's available in two different frame styles. There's the low step version, which I think is probably going to be the most popular. This is actually Gazelle's first high-speed step-through bike. This took quite a feat of engineering to get the frame stiffness and stability with a low step bicycle, and I think that's pretty awesome. It's available in two frame colors. The standard frame is available in just the anthracite gray, but the low step frame is available in anthracite gray, metallic orange, and thyme green. They have two different drivetrains, the C380 Plus with the Enviolo continually variable transmission, as well as the Gates carbon belt drive. Really low maintenance, really clean, really easy to use. I think this is probably going to be one of the more popular drivetrain options, or at least that's been the case in our shop. But if you wanted to save about $500, you could go for the derailleur and have a bit more of a sporty option, just maybe require a little bit more maintenance. They're available in three different frame sizes, a 45 centimeter, 50 centimeter, and 55 centimeter. So really fit a wide array of riders, starting in the low 5 foot up into a mid 6 foot range. This is also a great bike for heavier riders. It can carry a rider up to 330 pounds, which is beyond the common 250 or 275 that you find with a lot of bikes. So you can kind of tell when you look at it just really how sturdy the frame is. And really they did quite a nice job with just really like a lot of smooth welds on here, and the design of it is pretty striking. Now, some other things about the design overall. It has a relatively comfortable position. You have an adjustable stem here. It's a proprietary stem. Has some level of integration with the cables, would keep a pretty slick look, but you can have that flexibility to being a bit more upright, or if you wanted to be a bit more sporty, more aerodynamic position, you can do so as well. Relatively wide saddle, pretty comfortable, and this paired with those wide tires and suspension, you have a really comfortable ride, even if on some rougher terrain. For the motor system on the bike, we have the new Bosch Smart System speed motor, 85 Newton meters of torque, really loads of power there, assists you up to 28 miles an hour, so quite fast, and this would be considered a class 3 bike in the US. That's coupled with a 750 watt hour battery, which would give you a range between 50 and 100 miles, depending on what assistance level you are going at. So one of the largest batteries available by Bosch. But overall, the bike is just really capable and sturdy. I think that there's kind of not too much that it can't handle. If you're riding more like aggressive mountain bike trails, probably not the bike for you. But if you're riding on some kind of rail trail stuff, some dirt roads, some gravel paths, different things like that, definitely capable in just its existing setup. Even if you wanted to, you could put more of a mountain tire on here, certainly an option. For the tires on the bike, we have the Schwalbe Marathon Efficiency tires. It's a 27.5 by 2.35, pretty wide tire and nice tread to it. One of the interesting things, if you look at the center patch here, it's really smooth. One of their most efficient, really low rolling resistance, but still a decent amount of tread on the side. So if you go into some of that looser terrain, it can still handle that. It's really good puncture protection, and there's quite a bit of other tires in this size as well, so if you wanted some flexibility to go with different tires, but I think this tire as it comes is very versatile. And the tire is connected to a nice double wall aluminum rim with reinforced eyelets, so really sturdy there. And the fork on the bike is the Suntour Mobi 45. It's specifically designed for fast e-bikes, reinforced and really sturdy. It's an air fork, so you can adjust the pressure in the air, which basically will make it firmer or softer. You really want to set that based on your body weight. And then you have a lockout here as well. And really nice heavy duty fenders here, really sturdy, as with pretty much everything else on the bike. Let's check out the drivetrain. So this version is the C380 Plus. It comes with the Enviolo heavy duty 380, which is basically 380 degrees of gear range. Overall, really easy to use, really low maintenance. It's paired with the Gates carbon belt drive. Really one of the lowest maintenance options out there. The way I best describe it is you shift the gears kind of like a volume dial. So as you twist away from you, it's easier to pedal. As you twist towards you, it's harder to pedal, like low gear, high gear. I think it's probably one of the more popular options, but definitely if you want something a little bit more sporty, you have the T11 Plus. That one comes with the derailleur and cassette. It has the new Shimano Link Glide system, which is specifically designed to have lower maintenance and last a lot longer. So great option as well, and you could save a little bit of money on the drivetrain with that. So, and this has the new Bosch Smart System speed motor. It sits up to 28 miles an hour, really well integrated into the frame. And as you look here, you can start to see, you know, some of the really clean lines throughout the frame of the bike. But let's check out the motor from the other side. You can get a better peek at it. So as we look at this side of the motor, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So Bosch's motor system, they use a technology called pedal assist, and basically assists you as you pedal. It just kind of makes you feel stronger than you are. And it does it really in a very seamless way. So it uses 3 sensors. It senses basically how fast you're pedaling, how hard you're pedaling, and how fast the bike is going overall. Based on all this information, it's going to take senses 1,000 times per second and provide assistance in a really seamless way. So if you're on the lower level of assistance, it's going to give you about 50% or so, and then the highest level of assistance is going to give you well over 300% assistance. One of the nice things about this motor system, it also has this thing called auto mode. So if you want to, you can just select auto mode, and it's really going to assist in a more automatic way. So basically the idea is it's going to give you a lot of assistance when you're starting out, going up hills, but then maybe not so much as you're just kind of cruising along and you don't need as much help. That's a really nice option for those that want that flexibility. Many people might ride on the lower level of assistance, or maybe they prefer to ride more on turbo mode and just kind of get as much power as they can out of the motor. And since the motor is utilizing the bike's drivetrain, it allows you a really easy time kind of climbing up hills and dealing with some of the rougher stuff. For the battery on the bike, it has Bosch's 750 watt hour battery, so it's the largest of its class. Give you up to 50 miles in the highest level of assistance and upwards of 100 miles on the lowest level of assistance. Really nicely integrated into the frame, and then you can charge the battery off the bike, or if you want to charge it on the bike, they have a really clever integration of that, and it's actually set up right here behind the seat tube. So I think that's really nice. The first time I kind of saw something like this. I'm just going to remove the battery just to kind of show you. This is the same key that's used on that frame lock there. So basically, I'm going to unlock it, and then there's a little lever here. So you push that lever in, and then you can pull the battery out. You can see you can also charge the battery off the bike through this port here. So same system, and we'll just put the battery back in place here. I should also note that the Bosch battery has always kind of been tested to the highest standards that exist. Currently, that's the UL 2271 or 2849 for the complete motor system. That's what Bosch tests their systems to. So you can always trust that these batteries are very safe. And actually, they have more details about the inside of the battery, really all the extra measures they go to really make it, from my perspective, one of the safest batteries that exist in the industry. And as we move up to the handlebars, you can see this really nice ergonomic position. The handlebars have a slight sweep back to them, and right now the stem is kind of positioned in a more upright position, but if you wanted to, you could angle a little bit further down for something a bit more sporty. But this, you can see it's Bosch display, so this is the Kiox 300. Loads of different information here. You could connect your smartphone to it, and you could cycle through all the different details. It has the battery percentage. It will tell you that the light is on. If you wanted to turn that off, you can just hold the plus down button down for a couple of seconds. We'll turn that back on for safety there. Right now the assistance is off, but as you switch up to the different modes, you can see that's that auto mode I was talking about before. So that's that, and you can see the colors change here, and they also change here as well as additional visual indicators here. The trip distance, total odometer, riding time, different things like that. This will show you the range, and you can switch to the different levels, and it will tell you the range as it shifts as you move through there. So showing their power, cadence, etc. And you also have the ability through the app that you can see more navigation. You can kind of control some of these different screens. Have walk assist here. It makes it easier to push the bike. And then you have the power button, which is on the top here. You can also pretty easily swap to different displays if you want. If you wanted to run something just this display, that's an option. You have many different display options through Bosch, which is nice. You can also see these nice Ergon GP1 grips. Very comfortable. They give you a larger surface area for your hand to rest on, and they prevent some of the circulation issues people might find with some different grips out there. Other details, you can see the display here. So this is the Enviolo display, and as I was mentioning earlier, this is how you shift it. So basically easier to pedal starting out or going up a hill. As you get going, you'll kind of twist that towards you and kind of look to flatten that out, this little pictogram there. Nice little flick bell here. Another thing you might want to consider is potentially adding a mirror. There's a bunch of different options that we have available through our shop, so something to consider as well. And these are kind of 2 or 3 finger levers, but right now I have adjusted more as like a single finger lever. Really works quite well, and you still have really good control over the grip here. For the brakes on the bike, we have the BR MT420 brakes by Shimano. They're 4-piston calipers, really quite capable, made specifically for high-speed bikes, and they have 180 millimeter rotors front and rear. Really nice setup, and I found them to be quite capable and really smooth stopping. As we move to the rear of the bike, you can see this heavy-duty rack on here with nice lower pannier rails. This is the MIK HD, so a bunch of different options for a rack mounting on the top here, but then you can also run panniers on the lower portion, which is really nice. You can also run a baby seat, so this has a 60-pound weight capacity. And then we also have the rear frame lock, which is quite nice. So if you want to lock that, you can just turn the key and pull the key out. And this is the same key for the battery as well. You also have the option to add additional chain to this lock. So if you wanted to fix the bike to a immovable object, you can do so. And then generally speaking, you might want to pair this with an additional lock, say like a folding lock, a U-lock, or a chain lock for that extra security. So really nice integrated lights on the bike, integrated to the rack here, and quite a nice setup. And for the headlight on the bike, we have the Herman's H Black Pro. It's 100 lux, which is really very powerful and quite capable for a speed bike like this. This headlight runs off the battery just as the tail light, and really quite a nice system. This bike comes equipped with the Cell Royale Essenza Plus saddle. It's a gel saddle, really quite comfortable, set up with a rigid seat post. One of those details that personally I probably would end up upgrading, but I would find even with these wide tires, it's quite comfortable. But you know, you could consider adding a suspension seat post. Also, just keep that in mind when choosing your frame size. If you do want to potentially add a suspension seat post, you might want to go a little lower on the frame size if you happen to be closer on the cusp of the range there. So definitely something to consider. But overall, I really like the saddle, and I think it's well equipped for this kind of moderate ride position. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I definitely enjoyed riding this bike. I like when I can ride a bike and feel really comfortable right away without even making any modifications to it. This is definitely that type of bike. Yeah, I think that this is going to be pretty popular. I wonder what you guys think. If you have questions, comments about it, if you're interested in purchasing one of them, you know, we have a shop, propelbikes.com. Check us out, reach out to us. We have shops in New York, California, and Delaware, but we also work with people throughout the country. So just reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. All right, take care.